So today we are making a Maile Lei. A Maile Lei is a Hawaiian lei given to people in times of graduation, birth, weddings, and sometimes one in death or funerals, depending on the kumu or source. Oftentimes, the lei is given at graduations or as part of a uniki, which means someone that's been promoted from one honor to the next. Today I'm just making this Maile Lei for the fun of it, just for show. I think it's one of the ways in which I practice maintaining culture in the diaspora. Oftentimes you get Hawaiians here on the mainland who do not know how to do such things, and maybe this video will help. So what you do first, before you get to this really intricate part, is you take the tea leaves and you boil them in water, hot water. And you boil them until they feel really oily and stringy, and then you'll get to this part, which I can show you in a clip in a few seconds. But it's basically your basic twirl and twist method. I chose to do a Maile Lei because the materials were not hard to find, and it's one of my favorite pastimes. Graduation season is coming up, and I just decided that I wanted to do this one. I see this as a form of maintaining culture in its proper and natural form, because there aren't any sewing needles being used. I'm not using a machine. I'm doing it exactly the way that I was taught. You sit on the floor, you work with a partner so that you guys exchange mana and talk stories, and therefore the stories that you guys shared across this cultural archive are put into it, are put into the very archive that you are using. Let's see here. What this is called here, the twisting method anyway, is called fili, which means to braid, or also can mean chain. It's just basically twist the lunga, twist up, twist the lalo, twist down. Twist up, twist down, twist up, twist down. Otherwise known as under and over, under and over. Any shredded pieces along the way, you try to as much to not waste, so you can always find somewhere to tie them in the middle. Like this leaf here is giving me a bit of problems. Another one of my favorite things to do when I'm practicing culture or making something is to chant or to sing a song to it. I'm not in the best position to be singing, so I can do a little chant. One of my favorite chants. It's a welcoming chant. Usually before you go into practices like this, you chant to whatever deity you choose and ask them to give you guidance and wisdom and speed, as this task is usually meant to be performed quite quickly. So this chant that I'm going to do is called Au Hea e na kupuna. Au Hea e na kupuna, o luna, o lalo, o uka, o kai, e ia ke kaua o kalani, ke hea aku nei, ua hiki maile, e o mai ka ike, e ho mai ka nauau, e ho ike mai ho I ka pono, e pile mau ai, a ma kalapua ke kupu o Hawaii, e o mai, e o mai, e o mai no e. Hei noa no, au hea e nā kupuna. A little chant that I just did was a chant to the ancestors of below, the ancestors of above, the land and the sea. We always believe that there are 4, if not 9, regions to our earth, being the sky, the land, the sea, and everything below the earth. And when being involved in tasks such as braiding or anything that has to do with land or sea, we always ask for their blessings to be upon us before we go on these endeavors. You ask for their blessings, for them to give you the guidance and wisdom so that you may not forget your task in the middle of it. And you ask them for speed, because usually when you're doing this, it requires a large amount of speed, and you're supposed to give it to somebody really quickly. Otherwise, it'll dry out and it won't look as nice. See, this one fell off, but I'm going to keep using it. You take this and you just whip it around. I'm sure you've probably seen me do this about 1,000 times already. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just stitch and weave, stitch and weave, stitch and weave. And that concludes my tutorial for today.